Star Wars, the force of money. Hey, remember Star Wars? What if you could watch Star Wars again? But Star Wars knew you were watching Star Wars, and Star Wars would keep winking at you like the creepy guy on the other side of the bar that assumes just because you're looking over there you're totally interested. And nothing happens, but you leave feeling really sleepy, and after the fact wonder if Star Wars might have done something wrong. But Star Wars has never been bad ever before, right? Those 3 movies that are probably older than you are totally not overshadowed by a vast pile of bullshit. But enough about that. Who wants to see a Luke Skywalker? Well, you'll have to wait till the end for that, but there is a map to him, and an old man and a guy named Poe feed it to a hungry soccer ball. But then Darth Vader 2 comes, and the soccer ball has to sports away. Then the old man says, "Your name isn't Darth Vader 2, it's Kylo Ren. Have fun saying Kylo Ren, everybody." Then Kyle banishes him to the Star Wars afterlife of prequels and spin-off appearances, and kidnaps the Poe. But luckily a space Nazi feels bad, and he lets the Poe go, and he also goes with the flow. Yo, fucking kill me. Also, there is a silver girl Nazi. She is important. Remember that she is important. Buy a toy to remind you that she is important. Then Poe names his new Nazi friend Finn, but then their escaping explodes, and all of Poe dies except for his jacket. Meanwhile, the soccer ball makes a new friend. Her name is Rey, and she is a strong female character. What makes her a strong female character, you may ask? I don't fucking know, and apparently neither do the people that wrote this movie. Rey Romano is a different character in every fucking scene. She tells the soccer ball to eat a shit and go away, and then she decides to be the soccer ball's mom. Then Finn comes, and the soccer ball recognizes his jacket, which he burgled off of Poe's corpse out of respect. But unfortunately, soccer is the most popular sport in space Europe, and the Sky Nazis descend to watch the big game. But then Rey says, "I'm going to make it a point to be standoffish and bitchy, even though we're running for our lives. I am a strong female character." Then they escape in the Millennium Falcon, which is just sitting there for whatever reason. Then immediately and completely coincidentally, Han Solo goes there. The Millennium Falcon was stolen 6 times, and Han is there to complete the Steel Circle. And then he says, "Remember Star Wars?" And Rey is like, "I am a wide-eyed little girl now, filled with a sense of adventure and wonderment." Then they go to the forest to talk to a frog, and Rey is all, "I refuse to gallivant the universe as I am bound by loyalty, I say bound! I do not have time for this adventure and wonderment." Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, Kylo Rider gets yelled at by a giant, then prays to Darth Vader and beats up a computer. Flipper says he's going to leave and hang out with space sailors or something, and Raytoven is like, "Where is your sense of responsibility? Why, I would never run away from anything under absolutely any circumstance. Never run would I. Never!" Then she touches a lightsaber and runs away. But uh-oh, the bad guys are making a Death Star because remember Star Wars? But this isn't any Death Star, this is a big Death Star. The largest object is the most important. It doesn't just blow up a planet, it blows up more than one. You can also tell a situation is more dire if a number is bigger. Look, we even made a diagram how much bigger this one is. Please care about this movie more than old Star Wars. Then space Nazis go, and Kylo Ren steals Ray's Day because now she matters to him for some reason. And some guy goes, "Traitor!" and pulls out a thunder sword and beats up Fish Hands. And then he dies, contributing absolutely nothing of value to anything. Please write 50 comics about him. I need multiple nerds to tell me how actually this character is the most important and the coolest, and also how he didn't die and became unshot in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. You hear that sound? That is the sound of every pussy within earshot drying up. Speaking of characters that didn't die to be exploited for future merchandising, Poe is alive. Instead of dying in the explosion, he just got naked and dove out of his spaceship. Then more money happened, and Carrie, I wrote a book about how much I regret being in Star Wars Fisher is there. And she's like, "Remember Star Wars?" And Han is like, "Remember Star Wars?" And then Leia is like, "Kylo
Kylo Ren is our son, isn't he?
And then Han is like, yes, he is, but then he turned evil, and that makes me sad. And then Leia is like,
I remember when I sent him to train with Luke, that was when he turned evil the first time.
I just felt human emotions, like a human does when he hears two humans talk like humans do. Then Kylo and Otis tries to read Rey's mind, but he can't. I assume because there's like 16 people in there trying to write her different ways. And there's a big IOU where her backstory is supposed to be. Meanwhile, all the good guys are trying to figure out how to kill Big Death Star. And then Han goes, oh, okay, it's a Death Star, so hear me out. Remember Star Wars? And everyone else is like, oh yeah, Star Wars, I remember Star Wars. And then they decide to do a Star Wars to it. Han and Huckleberry and Choo-Choo all go on to Big Death Star to save Rabies. But she's not even in jail anymore because she tricked a Nazi into letting her go. Okay, now look at your desk. Do you see the toy? You did buy the toy, right? It's very important that you're looking at a toy right now because otherwise you would have forgotten Silver Girl Nazi. And you can't forget Silver Girl Nazi because she is important, so they fuck her shit up and make her take away a shield. Oh yeah, by the way, there was a shield that they needed to take away, I guess. And then Han says, remember Star Wars? And then Silver Girl Nazi is just gone for the rest, important for the rest of the movie. If you read 17 comics and also buy a second toy, listen, in the revised canon, out of the Sarlacc, and that's why she's in the middle of the poster. Then Chewie Hands and Finland run into the Baltimore Ravens. Completely by fuck you, miracle coincidence, the writers filled up a big trough of shit and then accidentally fell in. Dealer's choice. Oh, wait, was I not supposed to notice that that's fucking dumb? Maybe if you didn't make such a big deal out of how big the Big Death Star was, I wouldn't have. Anytime I give directions, I just say, it's on Earth, you'll find it. And they always do. Because you made it absolutely clear the thing was the size of a planet, and again, you pulled a graph out on me. You don't do that to a person. Then also a thing that they have to blow up is conveniently within walking distance. Then Han tells Fu Manchu Chewbacca to put the bombs. And then Pylo Men is there. And he is on the bridge. Anytime you see a bridge in Star Wars, you know some shit's gonna go down. But Han wouldn't have any kind of recollection of that now, would he? So he goes onto the bridge. But then Milo, remaining amount of stupid nicknames, says, I am emo, and then stabs his Han, and then Han says, remember Star Wars? Then he falls to his probably somewhere in Harrison Ford's contract conditional death, and Chew Bickles is mad, so he shoots Kylo Tato. Then he presses the bomb button, then they go, but Kylo, no you didn't, girlfriend, somehow goes faster and is in front of them. Then he throws Ray Charles and beats up Finny the Pooh. Then he tries to magic have Luke's lightsaber, but then Ray Leno is better at magic than him, so she magic halves it instead, even though she just learned the magic. Or did she? I guess we'll find out and figure it out later. Episode 8, The Internet Writes Back. I sure can't wait to get answers to all the questions I don't want to ask about a character I don't give a shit about. Then Poe remembers Star Wars is the Big Death Star to death, and high percentage annual interest raise destroys Kulo Ranch's credit. But before she can do any more fiscal damage by killing him out of the mainline franchise, the ground literally fucking splits apart between them as if by intervention of fate itself, which clearly has a vested interest in sequels and merchandising. Then everybody subscapes and Big Death Star blows up. Then Rey and Leia do a platonic sad hug, which puts both their stupid hairstyles in direct contact with each other, and that's the real tragedy here. Then the soccer ball tells Ray Bradbury to climb a mountain, and Luke Skywalker is at the top of the mountain doing nothing. Then Ray holds out his lightsaber and they both stand completely still for an awkward amount of time while the camera spins. And then Luke says, What's up, dinguses? If after that you still feel like throwing your shekels into a soulless money hole, might I suggest supporting us on Patreon? Or if you like the show, you can buy a some guy or some girl shirt. If you don't like the show, well then just rewind your life 10 minutes and unwatch it. Ha! Gotcha, dickhead! This episode was drawn by pointy-faced big boy Topspin the Fuzzy. He makes moving cartoons that don't talk at you as much if you're into that sort of thing. Or you can check out the last episode of this show. Or you could keep sitting here until the video ends abruptly.